Do you get scared easily? Because this happened to me just 2 weeks ago and I was so scared I thought I would die. You know what? I'm sure you have too. Well, here's the thing. I wasn't alone when it happened. I was with my boyfriend, Daniel. We were driving home from my parents' house. It had been a nice day. We had barbecues, we drank wine, we had a great time. And then we got into the car and started heading back. That's when it happened. I don't know exactly how fast we were going. We were probably doing about 60, and all of a sudden, bam, we hit something. I screamed. Obviously, I was petrified. Daniel slammed on the brakes and turned off the engine. Then he looked over at me and said, "Are you okay?" I nodded. "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah." But I really wasn't. What had we hit? Was it a person? An animal? Whatever it was, it had definitely punctured our tire. So I was terrified that whatever it was, it might come after us. Daniel got out of the car and came around to my side to check on me. He opened the door, helped me out, and wrapped me in the tightest hug ever. Then he started rubbing my back and whispering sweet nothings in my ear. And honestly, it made me feel so much better. Of course, I knew he was only trying to comfort me because he didn't actually know what we had hit. He didn't know I was just imagining all sorts of horrific scenarios in my head. We ended up changing the tire and driving home without saying much else to each other. That was until we arrived and I went to use the bathroom. I stared at my reflection in the mirror and realized that my face was pale and my hands were shaking. I splashed some water on my face to calm down and tried to convince myself that everything was fine. But then I got a text from an unknown number. It read, "Are you hurt?" I almost jumped out of my skin. Who was this person? Had they been following us? Was this a prank call? And why did they care if I was hurt? I wanted to tell Daniel, but I was so ashamed of myself for making such a big deal out of nothing that I decided not to. I was embarrassed enough as it was. So instead I just replied, "No, I'm fine," and hoped that whoever it was would leave me alone. Later that evening, I tried to tell Daniel about the message, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I felt like he would think I was crazy, so I just let it go. And besides, the whole incident with the tire had shaken me up enough as it was. The next morning, however, I woke up and still couldn't stop thinking about the text message. I mean, who texted me in the middle of the night to ask if I was hurt, and why? Was this person stalking us? They had obviously seen us change the tire, but why? Were they part of some kind of weird cult? These thoughts wouldn't leave my mind, so I ended up telling Daniel anyway. To my surprise, he didn't laugh at me or tell me I was being paranoid. Instead, he said, "That's strange, let me see your phone." I handed him my phone and he dialed the number. It went straight to voicemail. "Hey there, you left me a message last night asking if I was okay." It's me. Can you please call me back so I can find out who you are and why you're texting me?" Daniel hung up and sighed. "I guess we'll never know," he said. "Maybe we should just forget about it," he added, giving me a reassuring squeeze on the shoulder. And for a moment, I actually believed him. But a few hours later, while I was browsing social media, I saw something that made me gasp. One of the videos I was watching was being shown on another account, and that account belonged to Daniel. My heart skipped a beat. Why was he watching this video? And how could he be watching it if he had left his location sharing off for the past week? You see, Daniel always had a habit of turning off his location sharing every now and then. He would say it was to protect his privacy, but I always suspected there was more to it than that. I mean, why would he turn it off in the first place? He didn't even seem to remember doing it. "You know, I turned off my location sharing again yesterday. I keep forgetting to turn it on," he said one day, scratching the back of his neck sheepishly. Each time I asked him why he did it, he gave me a different answer. Sometimes he said it was to protect his privacy. Sometimes he said it was to save battery life. Sometimes he said he was just trying to take a break from always being connected. But I never really bought these excuses. There was something he was hiding, something he didn't want me to know. And now I was certain of it. He had been following me and spying on me the entire time. The fact that he had watched this video proved it. But why? Was he trying to find out what I was doing when I wasn't with him? Was he jealous? No, that couldn't be it. Daniel was the most trusting person I knew. He never checked my phone or asked me where I was going. If he had been spying on me, he wouldn't have asked me to go to his parents' house that weekend. After all, it was only after I left that he started watching my stories again. But what if he wasn't spying on me? What if he had seen my story and just decided to watch it? Yeah, that must be it. So when Daniel came home that night, I decided not to confront him. I didn't want to accuse him of something he hadn't done, especially since he had no reason to lie to me. But I couldn't help myself. I needed answers, and the only way I was going to get them was by going through his phone. I waited until Daniel fell asleep, then snuck into his room. He was breathing heavily, so I tiptoed over to his bedside table and opened the top drawer. His phone was sitting right there in front of me. All I had to do was tap on the screen and swipe up. But as I reached for it, I hesitated. Was this really necessary? Could Daniel really be lying to me? Or was I just being paranoid? I didn't know what to do. My heart was pounding in my chest. I could feel my blood rushing through my veins. Suddenly, I heard a noise. It was a creak in the floorboard. I froze. Had Daniel woken up? I quickly pulled my hand away from his phone and backed out of the drawer. Just then, the door opened and Daniel sat up in bed. "What are you doing?" he whispered. His eyes were filled with concern. "Oh, nothing," I stammered. I just couldn't sleep and I came in here for water." He nodded slowly. "Okay," he said softly. I could tell he didn't believe me, but he didn't press me to explain. Instead, he lay back down and closed his eyes. I hesitated for a moment longer before slipping out of the room. The next day, I woke up feeling awful. I had betrayed Daniel's trust and there was no excuse for it. I tried to make it up to him by cooking him breakfast in bed and giving him a massage, but he seemed distant and cold, like he was pushing me away. And when I asked him what was wrong, he told me there was nothing wrong, but I could tell he was lying. I mean, look at the way he was acting. Was this really nothing? I felt so guilty about going through his phone that I decided to delete the pictures I had taken and pretend like nothing had happened. But then I got a text from an unknown number. It read, "I know what you're thinking. You're wondering why I texted you last night, aren't you?" I gasped and dropped my phone. Who was this person? How did they know what I was thinking? Was this a stalker or a weirdo or something? I wanted to run and hide, but I couldn't. I had to know what this person wanted, so I typed, "Who is this?" The reply was instant. "Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. Not yet anyway. But I need your help with something," I wrote back. "What do you want?" The response was, "Meet me at the old oak tree in Central Park at noon. Bring your phone and don't tell anyone you're meeting someone there. Got it? Good. See you soon." I threw my phone onto the couch and buried my face in my hands. What had I gotten myself into? To be continued. Would you go to meet the person? What do you think is going on with this story? Let me know your theories in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching.